I need to get really long mouse.
Yes, exactly.
I need to get like a little photon blaster and then like a touch screen.
That would be
so
perfect,
I
yeah.
can,
Or just a wireless mouse.
yeah, I mean, I could just do that.
That's essentially a photon blaster and mouse, and it's all those things combined.
all of the things.
Well,
Yeah.
put your fine tinker on this.
Exactly.
You need just a really long stick to bap at it from over here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of our fine tinker, last time y'all put together a bit of a plan. You constructed a fake boat that you brought out to Cartown. It was very, very beautiful. I forget exactly. It was like very shiny, right? It looked
Yeah.
like it was made of gems and
There
gold
was
and
a real
stuff.
boat underneath it. It was just a lot of paper mache.
Yes,
on
a
top.
lot
Yes.
of paper mache. a lot
Paper
of
mache
gold.
weighed it down.
Exactly. And began to dissolve in the waves. But you got it there eventually. And after a pretty crazy roller coaster of wagers where both of you doubled or nothing back and forth like 6 times, you eventually stopped gambling when you were ahead by 2 boats. And so you decided to take the 2 boats and run. And they were none the wiser. They just thought, since Carptown is a place of gambling, and this is just the rules of the world, you just gamble here, that you won those boats fair and square, and you rode off into the sunset with them, and none of them were ever the wiser that the thing you were wagering in the first place was completely worthless. Well, maybe not worthless. It was still pretty, right? But not
Yeah.
really as valuable as the large boats you actually acquired.
Like
And
any
made
good
a
carnival
paper
prize.
mache against-
Exactly. But devious monsters you all are, and so these boats were not your end game. They were just step 1 in your mischievous plan. So you strap them together, and your plan is to sail them down this river for a few days to get to the Dragon Commune, somehow get a large dragon statue out of the Dragon Commune, slide it up a ramp onto your newly formed raft, and then sail it back upriver about 3 days back to your home base. And this will serve as the center point for your new vehicle operations.
Yeah.
Our greased ramp.
Greased ramp,
Yes.
very important.
Very important.
Is I remember the ramp was greased and there were a lot of ropes tied back and forth across the boat, so it was kind of like a tripping hazard everywhere.
Yes.
Combined with the grease, it's not fantastic footing, but
But this being a light 3 Dragon Commune,
it
We're
was light
absolutely
3 when you
gonna
picked
die.
it. Yes.
No, there's
Yes.
no risk whatsoever.
So this
Well, no,
is
'cause I have my boomerang dagger now. So
Yes.
We're all good.
I'm a monster. I don't think.
I'm a carp.
so just speaking of tiers, it is important to know who you're going up against, and I think it still is fine to challenge them here. It just means you're probably all going to be spending more resources on it. You might
Yeah.
want to do things like, since this is a really big raid, you might want to do things like pay your minions to come along with you, which I think actually rolled high enough that they'll come with you
Yes,
for
I've
free.
got a note
Do
here
we
that says
have-
raid for
Yes,
free.
yeah.
We have multiple light 3s on the map.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's correct.
Yes, Farmville and the Dragon Commune.
There was always, of each tier, there's always 2 light, 1 neutral, 1 dark.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think there was like 2 exceptions to that pattern. But most
Yep.
of the way through it was, so it should be 2 lights as well. 2 light 2s.
Oh, yes. I don't know why I just forgot.
That's okay. It is a weird pattern, but the world is supposed to be slightly more light aligned than dark, so
Yeah.
there's more room for you all to come in and.
Is that why there's a neutral 4?
Yes. So there's 1 neutral 4. There's 1 light 4. I don't think there's a dark 4 yet, because you all will eventually
Right.
become the dark 4, essentially.
Unless we all die
that's our
first.
band name.
Yeah.
Well, then we just get new people.
Exactly. Dark 4 is your end game, right? That's when
Yeah.
you start executing the final steps of your plan.
And, the prisoners.
Exactly. Well, that's already begun. That's when
Yeah.
you finally finish executing the prisoners. But yeah, so as far as attacking doing any kind of raid on a faction that is much higher level than you, it is possible, but of course the danger will be higher. So you're really gonna want to make sure you're doing things like spending your dark hearts to increase the odds on your rolls, right? Do anything you can to claw out any more type of extra success, right? Bring your minions with you. Try to play very cautiously, right? Because if you actually get in danger in these situations, it's going to be pretty bad. And they are going to have, even if you try to do things like sneak, they're going to have a very high chance of being able to find you, right? Things like that. So, yeah, they're just much better at pretty much everything than you guys. So, definitely burn that stress on any abilities you got. Do
Yeah.
anything you can. Because at the end of the day, if you burn all your stress, you just go feral, which isn't the end of the world. It actually means you get to do something for free when you go feral. You get to spend one of your abilities for free immediately. But then you're just in a altered mind state for the rest of the mission where you have to give into your vice like as often as possible. Your impulse, sorry, that's the proper word. So, running out of stress, not the end of the world. This is definitely a time when you want to spend as much gold on extra downtime activities or whatever to prepare because, this could be pretty dangerous. So, all of that said, and if you have any questions on the rules or how you could be spending things, whatever, feel free. I can look things up as needed, but...
May I switch out my scavenger ability for a different one? That's on a success while surveying or traversing a risky area. You can find a piece of mundane gear, take an edge on the crafting clock, or harvest something. It just hasn't felt like it's come up at all.
Yeah, that's fair. So if you want to, especially since it hasn't come up yet, I
Yep.
think that's fair to swap it out.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to swap it for Feral Senses, which is you take an additional die when tracking or surveying and gain a defense against surprise.
Very
As
nice.
I am a carp man, that feels like it makes sense to me. Carp are well known for their sense of smell.
Indeed. And
Equipped
the
minions
gambling.
get a supply, right? Not a gear.
What's up?
What do equipped minions get?
I can look that up. It's kind of unfortunate that I had to dig into the actual rulebook to find that list.
Someplace,
But
somewhere on one of these sheets that he has.
Yes.
I think it describes them, but I don't know if it gives the rules for it. It might be on the sheet though.
I think you're right. I think it just describes what they are.
I think it's under Dungeon Denizens Minions. There we go. Okay, so minion upgrades. Which one? Equipped. Your minions gain a defense of your choice from their gear.
Ooh.
So much like you all can, and that's another big thing to bring up and just remind everyone of. It's very easy to forget resistance rolls in this game, but they're very powerful.
Yes.
Because anytime anything happens that you don't like that it just happened, you can say you want to resist it, and you'll basically be spending a lot of stress to avoid that consequence, right? So you can kind of turn failures into successes just by spending a bunch of stress afterwards. It might be very expensive. It might be like 3 stress each time you do it,
Yep.
but that can be huge. So
But you can burn a defensive item instead if it applies. Is that
if
correct?
it applies, yeah. So it has to be applicable in some way that makes sense, and
Yeah.
every defense should have sort of a domain that it applies to, right? Like armor, it defends you against attacks or something physical, whereas I think one of the options in the book that it suggests as like a possibility is a whip for defense against minion mistakes.
Yeah.
So if your minions make a mistake, you spend your whip to force them to succeed, right? Things like that.
If I use up my defense, does it replenish when we go back to base, or do I have
Yes.
to? Okay.
It'll replenish every time you go back to base, but not during a mission. So having an extra defense from that means you get 2 defense.
That's really good.
Yeah, which is very nice. So those things will be very relevant as you go up against such a high level faction. And yeah, I guess the other thing to mention, I know we're getting into the slightly crunchier elements of these rules. That just ever so slightly. I think I mentioned it before how there is. This game has a different name for it, but I'm just going to use the Blades in the Dark terms because I'm used to those. Position and effect, where your position is how risky your action is, and your effect is how effective you'll be if it succeeds. Right? You can always trade those back and forth. So you could say, I could tell you that your effect is desperate, which means it'll be extremely bad for you if it fails. And you have a great effect, which means it'll be really good if you succeed. So it's a high risk, high reward roll. You could tone that down to be a medium roll, just a default roll, where it's just standard effect. If things go wrong, it won't be that bad for you. In these kinds of situations where the enemies are so much higher level than you, your effect level is going to start lower. So that means you might start at a limited effect if you try to like attack a dragon, right? And so I might tell you that is a desperate limited roll, for example. You can then, I think the book calls it going hard. If you see something on one of your character sheets that references going hard, that means you make it a more dangerous roll for yourself, but you also increase your effect level. So you could say, okay, I'm going to make this a deadly roll. If I fail this roll, I'm going to put everything on it. I'm probably going to die if I fail this roll. But I can actually hurt this dragon instead of just doing no damage to it before.
Yeah.
And in the fiction, maybe that's represented by you not just stabbing it in the toe, but like going up near its face and poking it in the eye or something, right? It's way more dangerous, also probably more effective. So yeah. Couple rules things out of the way just to get them
Yeah,
floating
thank you
around in
for
your heads for
explaining.
later. No worries.
I think they do call them position and effect, but I think their names for the different levels are different than what's
think
in
so.
the Dark.
It's like dire, deadly,
Yeah.
dominant. Whatever, dominant, yeah. Which are very thematic terms, but I'm always going to forget them. So I'll
Yes,
just-
same here.
Did you forget how to pencil?
I think it forgot a pencil.
I think you jammed 20 leads into it last time, and that might be a problem.
That
Yeah,
would be a
same thing.
problem.
Well, it is now.
How can it be empty? You sat there and fed it lead after lead after lead.
You just dumped it.
Things you shouldn't do to a pencil and not a child.
It's
What?
it's haunted, clearly. That's what- yeah.
It's a long list, actually.
It's one of his kobolds crafted items. It just eats lead. To monster science, yeah.
I hope my boomerang dagger works better. Than
I shoved lead in my boomerang dagger and now it won't fly.
You need me to fix this for you.
It's not a boomerang dagger, it's a bungee dagger.
It's way more dangerous.
It's just on a bungee cord.
Yes,
There's no way that won't turn out well.
exactly.
See, it's fucked.
You made him a flaccid spear.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
All right. So
Swing it above your head really fast.
exactly.
Have
So
no
we-
exit strategy.
So, you all are once again down in your sanctum. I had to blank on my word for a second. Down in your sanctum, the machine room where everything is
Yeah.
whirring and cogs are clicking together and steam everywhere. Also, your workstations are nearby, whatever laboratories or witchy
Yes.
enchanting places or whatever you need for your work, for your character's work,
The
is all
ingot
located
workflow.
down here. The ingot workflow, exactly. So, go ahead and put together your plan here for attacking the Dragon Commune.
I'm guessing we should go in stealthy. Maybe cause a giant
Yes.
distraction somewhere.
Dragons
Throw
all
Kobe through window. Kobe
No.
open door.
No.
Rush statue. Break legs. Push.
Kobe set entire woods on fire just north of Dragon Commune. Kobe create distraction. Kobe may burn to death. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I do like the idea of setting the woods on fire.
I do like the idea of setting Kobe on fire.
That can come later if necessary.
If the woods are on fire, they're going to be alert and looking around for stuff.
Or
yeah, but
maybe
they'll be looking around for stuff where the fire is. They're not gonna
everybody
be-
would suspect a dragon would set it on fire. To protect their reputation, they will focus their efforts on minimizing the fire spread. Clearly.
You're a fish.
Yes.
How do you know how dragons think?
Isn't it obvious? Doesn't everybody know how
They
dragons
both have
think?
scales, so.
Braces.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Shall we do it in the middle of the night? That seems like a good time to do any sort of assault. I would think.
Yes.
I think dragons sleep at night.
Do dragons sleep? You're the fish.
That's a good point. I think if they do sleep, they would sleep at night. Unless they're all nocturnal. I don't think they are.
Throw Kobe through window.
So, are you attempting to be sneaky here as the plan? Get in, steal the statue, get out?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, do we want to send my minions to go light fires?
Yes.
Okay.
Your minions good at lighting fires.
I don't know. They're good at
Everyone-
scouting and spying, so.
That
Yes.
sounds like yes.
So, I don't think any of you have gathered information on the dragons to figure out if they
Correct.
sleep at night, Ryan. But you could make that assumption based on no knowledge.
If we're trying to cause a distraction to make them go someplace, wouldn't it be better if they're awake? I mean,
It's
They're
kind
not
of
gonna
50-50.
They're not gonna sleep through the entire woods being on fire.
What if we
It's fine.
set the woods on fire and wake them up
How do you
by
wake
saying, "Dragons, your woods are on fire"? We can throw Kobe through the window and he can tell them.
We'll call that Plan B,
Hmm.
and we'll never go back to it.
Fair?
Well, no, I think that has some merit.
Throwing Kobe through the window.
Well, not necessarily through the window, but yelling fire.
But we can't speak. Is that one of the words? I don't think it is.
Some of your minions are
Yes.
fluent, right?
All of our minions are fluent.
Right. And you can bring your minions for free.
Your
as
spirits
well.
can whisper.
Well, mine will be busy setting fires.
Yes.
Mine can fly through their windows yelling fire.
Oh, that's right. Yours can go pretty much. Can yours go through walls?
They're ghosts.
What if they have ghost-proof walls, though? We cannot rule out the possibility.
Throw them through the window.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so your ghosts will yell fire.
No.
If any of the dragons are weak-minded, they can possess them.
Oh, even better. That would be the
Right,
perfect
now,
solution.
Kobe wishes to speak.
The ghosts should scout.
Well, that's ridiculous.
They can find the statue.
I
Yeah,
could
finding a statue is
I
probably
could
an
scout.
idea.
I'm pretty good at it. I've
They're-
got big eyes. Have you seen my eyes?
They're
Yeah, but-
literally invisible.
The ghosts.
They're ghosts.
Do dragons eat carp?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I will assume so. And watch out.
I'll have the ghosts look for that.
So we're going to need to do 2 phases then. Your ghosts are going to need to do the reconnaissance, and then we'll move into the stealth assault.
Yes.
Is what I'm calling it, where we be stealthy and also assault them.
Yes. Make sure you bring the statue saw.
Yes. Make sure to make the statue saw.
Acid.
Oh,
No, you had a statue
a liquid
saw.
statue saw. Intriguing.
I don't remember a statue saw.
I do.
I remember
we're
talk about it.
stupid.
Oh yes, I remember the subject being brought up. I
Yes.
don't think we ever created a
Yeah.
statue saw.
I don't think that got done with downtime actions.
Okay.
We could still do that if people have gold to spend on it, but
Nope, acid.
I have 1 gold.
so what we
Do
can
you have
also
acid?
well what we can
I
also do
always have
is
acid.
save that thought for later
Yep.
and flash back to it as needed.
Yes.
So then, whenever the
course.
scene comes up of we're at the statue, what do we do? Somebody can flash back and say, "This we planned for this the whole time,"
course.
and have the
Yes,
perfect
yes.
solution ready, right? So
This is the
those
statue
flashbacks.
saw passed down to me by my
Exactly.
grandpappy.
Yeah.
We
We
were
have
very
to flash back to
statue-phobic.
Well, flashback to my grandpappy creating the statue saw.
Oh, sorry.
Stole the statue saw from Carptown or something. I don't know. All right. So currently we've got a few details here.
Yeah.
It sounds like. Are you still planning on approaching at night?
I
You'll
want
see
to.
the fire better.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Okay. And we like the idea of a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to split up and have some people set the distraction and the others move in, or are you
Minions.
Yeah, his minions are just gonna do
I
that.
feel like we're gonna need
We're
like
gonna
as
need
many
to
of us as
oversee
possible to move the statue.
No, I'm
we-
not going to oversee my minions.
We aren't even sure they have a statue, much less that we can.
Oh, they got a statue.
Okay.
That's what your ghosts are for.
To see if they have a statue to begin
We
with.
will
The
bring
word is-
some of the moonshine to
Are we-
light fires with.
That's a good idea.
That to drink
What
on
if
the way
we-
because we have days of.
What if we conveniently leave some empty moonshine bottles inside one of their buildings before we leave?
To frame them?
Yes.
Why don't we
Well,
frame
well, no,
Carptown on the
well,
way?
yes, the barrels of moonshine are from Carptown.
So are the ships.
Yes.
Well,
They will never suspect us.
if we leave the barrels in Carptown, how are the Dragon Commune gonna know? I'm sure there are plenty of empty barrels of moonshine in Carptown as we speak.
No, they're Carptown. Wait, did the moonshine originally come from Carptown?
No.
We'll write Carptown
I don't know. They
on
they
the
sailed
barrels and
across
leave
to
them.
the island. I assume they came from Carptown.
They could have.
We'll write Carptown on the barrels and we'll leave them laying around. In
That's dumb. We
strategic
should blame it
locations.
on the goblins.
Actually, if we let him get seen,
I was just about to say that too. We'll let him.
then they will assume it is Carptown.
I love it.
As we're leaving, we'll have him standing on
Alright.
the
The,
ship.
ba- The Bass Brothers will come with me.
Perfect.
We'll make sure that we're all seen.
It's
Okay, so
better
you're-
if we blame it on the goblins.
Why?
Yes,
Because they hate each other.
but none of us are a goblin.
We could dress up like goblins.
Well, yeah, but if the Dragon Commune and the Carp Town don't already hate each other, it's good to foster that.
We'll take what opportunity we have
Yeah,
when
we,
it gets
we
to
can always
that.
flash back to figuring this
Figure
out later
that
too.
out.
Well,
Okay.
3 of us are too short to be carps, but are short enough to dress up like goblins, and one of us is a carp, so we could just do both. The goblins
wear
and the
fish
carps
costumes.
have worked together.
No. No.
All right. So we've got
Okay.
some details here.
Yes.
You're sending some minions away, but you're not really splitting up otherwise. You're approaching at night. And what is your method of approach in trying to actually sneak in once the distraction is set? Are you gonna
Don't know,
go
that's
through a
the
window?
ghosts.
Yeah, we're gonna have to rely on the ghost recon
Rely on
for
the
that.
ghosts. Okay.
It's gonna be a ghost recon.
So I'm gonna stop the planning there then.
I'm gonna drop kick you.
We can flash back
Can you
to
please?
we can flash back to more planning details later. Because now I get to figure out the engagement roll.
Excellent.
So, based on how well I think you prepared for this, you got the 2 boats and the raft together. I'm going to give you a bonus die for that. I like the idea of you bringing all your minions and setting up a fire. So I'm going to give you pretty good odds to start here, and we'll see how well this all goes.
Here
to
come
begin
all
with.
the ones.
Exactly. Oh, that's a 6.
Yay!
So, full success. So, to start the raid off, we're going to skip over some details then. Essentially, we're going to set the scene with you all pulling up in the barge just outside the Dragon Commune in the forest out here. You beach it, and we can see already on the horizon to the north, the trees are all on fire. Your minions have succeeded. They've done their job accordingly. Whose minions stayed behind for that? Your minions,
are mine.
okay.
I like
Metals
how they
minions.
set the distraction so we have to pass it on the way back.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe not the best.
Okay. You didn't say where you wanted
didn't
the
say
fire.
where.
You just said you
You,
wanted
got,
the
you have to
fire.
drop the minions off somewhere along
Yeah.
the way, I assumed. You know,
It was
just-
more convenient at the time. We
Yeah.
didn't think ahead.
With the way traveling down this river works, I mean, it'll take you 3 days travel just to get here, right?
Yeah.
So it's even harder if you have to do 3 days travel down farther, drop the minions off, travel a day
Yeah.
back
It's
again.
I'm sure they
And
won't
if the
notice
fire
us
is
going
still
back
going
up.
by the time we're going back, I think we have bigger problems than.
Well, the dragons certainly do.
That's true. Honestly, I think a lot of that surrounding region has problems.
We're doing this in the middle of
Yeah.
a drought.
The B&B haunted may become, charcoal
Exactly.
down.
So
Yeah, we just speed run the whole game. What if we just lit the whole world on fire?
Well, there we go.
We turned the beautiful countryside into Mordor.
I mean,
exactly. So you see, as you beach the barge just outside, you lower the ramp so you can get everything ready for later. You hear the beating of some massive wings as a dragon takes off from the trees. You can see through the trees. You can't see the actual commune building yet, but you can see a dragon take off from overhead and fly in the direction of the flames. So you've successfully distracted one of the dragons, perhaps whoever was on watch. It appears to be just a very large red dragon that flies off in that direction.
he's gonna.
I didn't
fight
realize
fire
they
with
were so
fire.
big.
Yes, they're very large. So what do you all do?
Well, I'm gonna send my minions up to recon, make sure there is a statue.
I feel like we would have done that before they lit the fire.
I don't
But
know how fast ghost minions can.
So you had to
live.
drop the minions off a while ago.
Yeah.
Unless you have a way to contact them, they probably
Which I
just
don't think we do.
yeah. So they already set the fire, and now you're just hoping. You're going in with a daring
Yep.
plan. You're just gonna get in there. You can always
Yeah.
just leave if it's too much of a problem, right? But, so
We don't retreat.
exactly. So what kind of action would you like your minions to take to scout ahead here?
Well, they can go invisible. So
Yeah.
I can use that once per cycle.
So that'll be helpful for their effect and their position and
Yeah.
stuff. But what kind of action rating do you want them to use here?
Probably skulk, since that's the
Presumably.
exact thing they're doing.
Yeah, if you want them to be sneaky, you could do that.
Do
Or
they have skulk?
is there a scan ability too for
make them scan. They'll be invisible. They won't need a skull.
Yeah, I did not think that they'd be doing recon work, so I didn't put.
That's okay, but so they can always they can always do something they're not trained in, right? That's fine. It'll just be lower odds of success. But if you want to use your ghost minions to sneak, they have to be good at sneak, right?
Yeah,
So,
they have
but
a point and trick and what the heck was that last one say?
Threaten.
Threaten and invoke.
okay, so they're very
None of
threatening
those are-
ghosty minions.
I don't want them to threaten anybody at the current moment.
They can be tricky.
But yeah, scan is probably the most appropriate.
Yeah, they
Yes.
can earn XP. So if you do send them out to scan or sneak or whatever, they can, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, they don't earn XP. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. I thought there was something about them taking upgrade ticks, but no, I guess
Is there
not.
anything I can do to increase their odds? Give them an extra die or something?
If they have morale, you could spend
They
their
do.
morale, and I would give them 1 extra die.
We're just trying to find the statue and how we would get to it.
I do think so. They are. You said they're invisible, right?
Right.
So that'll definitely help them with like the risk level of this. So even if they fail, it won't be like instant death, right? So if you want to have them sneak or just try to, the other option maybe is you could have them scan and just like instead of going in, just fly around the trees and like let you know if anything's going on. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, one of their other options is manifest physically, so I assume they have no mass. They can't like knock things over, or make noise.
Nope, they could probably open.
Probably they can if they do manifest physically, right?
There
Yeah,
also
but I
could
mean,
be,
that's not a risk.
magical dragons that can
Right.
see ghosts. It's always possible.
Well, let's hope not.
Okay.
Let's not give them ideas.
Yeah, so these are things that are advantages for your ghosts, right? They are invisible, they can phase through things, but they are tier 0 ghosts versus tier 3 dragons. So the advantages help you catch up to the dragons, but they don't make them like instant successes, basically.
Right.
The dragons are still really good at finding things. Maybe the dragons can see things that are invisible, right? It's hard to tell.
Well, let's hope
If
they're all
they-
properly distracted.
If they completely fail, it'll cost us a lot of time, but I can scout ahead. I'm not
How many
invisible,
dice am I
though.
rolling?
So if they have, which action are you doing, first of all?
Scan.
Scan. Okay. So if they're just flying around, I think that's just a standard risk roll. So just risky. I think that's just risky standard. So if you're spending their morale, just roll 1 die and we get the result.
What's this?
Just one?
Well, if you if they have a
What
0
would it be if
dots,
I wasn't using the morale?
roll 2 dice, take the lower. So
It'd be a
like
disadvantage
yeah.
if you don't use the morale.
Is it better to roll 1 die or to roll 2 and take
It's
the lower?
better to roll one.
It's disadvantage
roll
versus
one.
normal. Yeah.
Okay. 5.
Okay, that's a
Hey.
mixed success. So for what I'm going to do there is I'm going to. Whoa! No, thank you, Chrome. I don't care about whatever features you. I'm going to start a clock called Dragon Alarm
Oh no.
with a size of, let's go 6 because they're pretty laid back
It's
dragons.
a 6 alarm fire after.
Wasn't it?
Dragon Alarm.
Wasn't it mostly Dragonborn worshipping dragons? Or was it just like a whole mess of dragons?
I think we determined that because they're light 3 and not a lower level, that it is like actually just a lot of dragons. So I'm going to tick that up by 1. They are mostly dragons, but they are they are the hippie weed smoking dragons.
Yeah.
They're a little bit laid back and chill. So they're not particularly threatening unless threatened, right? But they are
Unless
just
somebody
dragons.
happened to set their woods on fire.
Exactly.
We're
But I
just
think that
smoking the
one-
good kush.
Exactly. So they've caused some disturbances, and you've been able to tell that some of the dragons in the area have like noticed some weird things, but no one's like sounded an alarm. No one's noticed anything's gone wrong yet. And your ghosts presumably can speak.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So your ghosts come back to you and they speak in whatever witchy shaman language you have. And they tell you that it's funny, it's Swedish, exactly. They tell you that the largest dragon, the one you saw fly away, is gone and is trying to take care of the stuff to the north.
He just
But
keeps breathing fire on it and he doesn't know
Exactly.
it's not working.
but several other smaller dragons are now waking up and are kind of like have been woken up by the noise and are kind of wandering around just looking for problems or looking for what's going on. They're not at alert yet, but there's 3 dragons they can see that are like walking throughout the building, basically. So that's what you've been
No
going.
word on the statue?
The statue is on top of the building.
Excellent.
Perfect. How big is it?
Big.
It's a building.
It's small enough you can fit it on your raft. It's going to be very hard to bring it to the raft, though.
How tall is the building?
Big.
It's a commune
It
with
fits,
dragons.
It fits dragons. It's got multiple dragon-sized stories.
Sheesh.
Okay. I'm going.
We're gonna kill a dragon by dropping the statue off the roof.
Well, that may well be.
I can send one of my ghosts to try to possess a dragon and see if he can take the statue down for us.
Okay, that if it just I'm
Hey,
assuming
don't.
that's an invoke roll. Not that you're committing to it, but I want to tell you what your odds are there. If that's an invoke roll, which is probably one of their better stats, I think that is desperate limited.
Really?
So you could make that.
How weak-minded are the dragons?
Uh,
I mean, they're all on drugs.
that's calculated in. So if you want,
They
They
may just
are-
get absorbed into the dragon psyche.
they may be weak-minded for dragons, but they're still dragons. So
Okay.
desperate limited, you could bump that up to deadly standard if you
it
want
was
to.
just a thought.
Do not.
But you could risk it still.
I'm gonna flash
Even
back.
Kobe thinks that's a bad idea.
Hey, you could get a dragon on your side if it succeeds, though. So that's the thing.
I'm gonna flash back to manufacturing the Kobe Bolt.
Kobe Bolt, okay. Do you have gold to spend on a downtime action for that?
I have 1 gold.
Okay, sure. Flashback. Okay, so you've created. Go ahead and roll Tinker for that. I think makes sense. Just because it's a downtime action.
Flashback is a stress, right?
1 stress and some extra dice.
2, 1, 3.
2, 1, 3. You failed to create the Kobe Bolt in time. You were way too, excuse me, busy with all the other preparations, getting the boats ready and stuff. You got like a half-ready Kobe Bolt, but it's not actually completely.
Concave wooden mallet.
Exactly.
Rip.
Rip.
Can't get on the roof.
We can get on the roof.
How?
It'll just take ingenuity and hard work.
No, I did that already.
Oh, crap.
Oh, I should have said carp.
Missed opportunity.
Okay. So are
Um,
we going in now?
What are we gonna do in?
Well, presumably that's how we get up.
Well, I have a
It's full of
bow.
dragons.
We can
No.
tie a rope to my bow,
Uh-huh.
or rather to my arrows. That might be better.
A little bit.
And I can fire, and the arrow will lodge, and we send Kobe up to the roof.
He climbs up the rope.
Yes. I don't have any rope. Does anybody have any rope?
No, we lashed the ships together with a lot of rope.
Kobe not
Sure, you
athletic.
could take some of that rope.
Yes,
That has
let's-
been established. It's
We'll
a
go
little
back and
greasy.
get rope.
No.
Copies can climb up a greasy rope onto the statue. Be perfect. What's the
Well,
arrow
not all the
launching
rope is
into?
greasy. Only the ramp is greasy. The rope is just tying things
The
together.
rope got greasy.
Everything's greasy.
Why'd you grease the rope?
Well, I greased the ramp and it just kind of kept going from there.
All right, Ike. I will flash back to our previous conversation about me saying, "Well, I can always fire rope. We could just use rope from the boat." And then Kobe says, "It's all greasy." I'll say, "Fine, then I'll get some rope." And that's why I have this coil of rope. It's very lightweight rope.
All right, I think that's fair.
It's rat rope.
I don't think rope is a terribly hard thing to procure.
Okay.
So I think pay a stress for that. And
Okay.
We'll
What
call
is
it
he
good.
gonna do while he's up there?
What am I doing? Yeah.
Well-
yeah. Well, he has the
Acid.
liquid saw thing,
Uh-huh.
so he can apply that to the ankles.
And it just falls down and doesn't break?
Oh, do mark off one of your supply for the rope, though.
Okay,
That's-
thank you.
That probably makes sense. Because you pull the rope out. So it's over on the left by your gear and stuff. There should be a supply
Yes, thank you.
box. Yeah, there you go.
Well, he can tie the rope to the statue and he can lower it down.
Or you can just pull it off.
It's gonna fall
Yes.
a lot.
Either way,
It's gonna break.
we can put it back
It'd be
together.
a lot easier to get on the boat if it was in several pieces.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
plus, we're going to need the wings to come off of it anyway, so we can make it fly.
We're solving our problems before we even know about them.
Very smart monster science, monster planning.
We're gonna put
Praise
it together with
gravity.
Legos. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, send Kobe up there.
All right, so you have a rope.
Yeah, I do.
So you're gonna fire the rope at the building.
Yes, I want to fire the rope at the building. I assume there's some menacing gargoyles or flying buttresses or something that I can aim at and try to get my arrow like lodged on.
Yeah. What kind of action do you think this is? Because it sounds finessey to me.
I think it's scan because I got to find the perfect place to fire my.
Okay, so you're
arrow.
looking for the exact perfect
Yes.
spot. Okay, so you take a moment while the rest of your monster companions here are sort of bickering over what to do
Yes.
next, and you just stare at the building and you find the exact spot. And yes, there is like a dragon gargoyle with a massive pipe that it's smoking. Like that's just how they
Incredible.
make their gargoyles here. So you wind up with the rope.
It's the chimney.
And go ahead and roll that scan. I think this is going to be, I think we'll say risky standard on this one because they're definitely going to at least notice you if you fail here. So you might not
Okay.
be in
More
immediate harm,
distractions.
but yeah.
Set more fires.
I can't communicate with my minions.
Why not? Aren't they back?
I don't know where
6.
they are.
All right.
Nice.
So you scan. You find the perfect time when all the dragons. I'll assume at this point you've moved a little bit up through the forest, so you can actually see the place a little better.
Yes.
You moved up through the forest. You find the perfect point when you watch the dragons patrolling through windows, behind windows, around the building, and right when all of them have their backs turned, right when all of them are no longer looking at the windows, that's the exact moment you fire your arrow. It arcs up there, and now you have a rope hanging down the side of the building.
Well, up and at them, Kobe.
Kobe scurries up the rope.
What?
Did your ghost say
Alright, are
like
you
treasure
being
or
sneaky
anything
up the
while they
rope?
were running around?
I
They
suppose.
weren't looking for treasure.
I'm
Yeah, I
just-
mean you
that's why I'm
could
asking
you could
if
choose a
it's
different
treasure.
approach
This
if
is
you
not
want to.
Sawyer.
If you want to be sneaky, we probably need to roll for it.
I mean, it depends on whether or not I think I could be seen.
You definitely think you could be seen.
Well, then I guess I will sneak.
Doesn't he have an invisibility cloak or
Yes,
something?
I do.
Why don't you give it to him?
No.
Okay, fuck Kobe, I guess.
Well, if Kobe gets killed, then I don't get my cloak back.
That's very fair.
That's true. You can't find it if it's invisible.
And Metal can just shout in Kobe's ear when Kobe fucks up, and then it works. So,
Well, if he gets stuck up there, I can probably shoot him down.
Why don't you go up there?
Well, that's why I was asking if your ghost saw any treasure or anything, because we still need other
Did the
resources.
ghost mention any treasure?
they were not looking for that.
That's what I told you.
We should just both go.
You can both get under the cloak.
I can work on the statue, and you can see if there's anything nearby to steal.
I don't think
At the
my
top.
arrow is strong enough to hold 2 of you.
One at a time.
Okay. There might be something up there. There also may be a way into the top of this building.
Indeed.
You go first, because you're invisible.
Maybe you can crawl through the pipe.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll put the.
I'll actually invoke Metal's impulse of being reckless here. So, Metal, you see this as a challenge you want to tackle here of actually getting up there sneakily, right? So, you can either resist that by paying a stress, or you can be the first one to.
Oh, we'll go.
All right.
There might be something cool up there, and I want to get that
Yeah.
before he does.
All right. So you've got that cool invisibility cloak, which helps you a lot. But I'm assuming you're skulking.
Yes.
Okay. So I think the invisibility cloak helps this just be risky standard once
Okay.
again. So there's a chance you get spotted, but it's not so bad.
There we go. A 2 and a 1.
2 and a 1. Oh no. Okay.
Sorry.
So you go running up the side of this building, assuming you're very sneaky in that cloak of yours. And right as you pass by one of the windows, the rest of you see one of the sleepy dragons kind of poke its head out the window and just like, "What's going on out there, man?" And that's when the rope that that the metal is climbing on is the rope's not invisible, and that's just kind of waving back and forth as metal's climbing it, and he just sees the rope like, huh, and he just reaches out and grabs the rope and just starts shaking it with metal on it. So, metal, you can either let go of the rope or try to hold on, but it's
How
gonna
high up is
hurt.
he?
You're probably about 40 feet up at the moment.
Okay.
Does he make a bell ringing sound?
It's probably so. This is I'm giving you essentially what the game calls a hard choice, where you can either hang on to the rope,
Yeah.
but you're probably going to take shock to muscles or something, right? Because that's really hard to do, or you're going to fall, probably take a lot of damage from that, probably be detected.
Can I have one of my ghosts intervene on that?
You can make a resistance roll for somebody else. So if you want to do resistance, that would work. Yeah, or metal could resist as well.
Is there anything on the wall I could like jump over and grab onto?
Yeah, sure. There's other windows and things,
Okay.
windowsills.
Well, I think that because my concern would be that he's just going to yank this arrow out.
Okay.
So I'm going to jump for the wall.
Okay. So I think that to me sounds like a resistance roll, where you're avoiding all of these consequences. Does that sound like finesse to you, or is there a different action you think might be applicable?
No, it's probably finesse.
Okay.
Can I have my ghost get into the dragon's head and
I think the
you
tell
dragons
it to
can.
go back to bed?
Let's resolve this first. We can get back to that. Yeah.
You absolutely cannot make the ghosts trick the dragon.
Yes, I absolutely can. Shut up.
It would be risky, but you can. So go ahead and roll finesse. You can add a dark art to this or whatever you want. But,
Yeah, I think I'll burn my dark heart here.
fair enough.
It's not like he's gonna see it.
So I have nothing in finesse, so it's just one die roll.
Just one die roll. Yep.
A 2.
A 2. Okay, so you are not quite out of danger yet then, because the 2 doesn't get you all the way out of the problem.
Yeah.
But you do leap to a windowsill, and now you're dangling from that windowsill, and it's like you don't have anything for your feet to catch on to like kick yourself up higher.
Okay.
So you're just dangling there, and you do take 3 stress for that
Which they
resistance roll.
can't see.
Which they can't see. So you're just there. Everyone else just sees the dragon shaking the rope, like, huh, who put this here? So,
Seeing as how I haven't heard a thump, he's doing an admirable job holding on.
or the bell ringing sound, being shaken around on the room. So that's the current situation. You've got metal in danger, hanging from a windowsill. Anyone else doing something here?
Are you gonna have your ghosts intervene?
Well, instead of trying, can they do be in the room and cause a distraction on the other side of the room
Sure.
by invoking? Yeah, because I have points in invoking.
Yeah, so they can, unless. So normal minions, if they have points in invoking, can do tier 1 spells, what they're called. I don't know if any of your ability upgrades gave your minions higher level casting. I would probably doubt it, but
I don't recall seeing that.
I don't think that's a thing. So I think they can do tier 1 spells with that, basically. So yes, they could essentially yes. I think they can cause a distraction. What kind of distraction are you thinking? Like breaking something?
Yeah,
Or?
can they just like cause us something to break just outside the room that the dragon's in?
Tip over his bong.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Oh no, not the dragon bomb.
Yes.
Fixing that is going to be a lot of focus for the dragon, and also probably not too suspicious.
Yeah, so they can invoke to like
They will
The
explode
rope
the
was
dragon
tied to
bomb.
his
swirl
bong
up a
the
little
entire
wind
time.
or something, cast a little spell that makes it fall over.
Right, bro.
Don't explode it.
Like
just keep
his
it over.
best one.
His best one. Okay, so I think this is definitely going to be desperate, just because they're gonna have to get close to a dragon.
Well, yeah, but he can't see them.
True, but if he does happen to notice them, or just do a big AOE breath, right?
What if dragons can inhale ghosts?
So I think desperate, great though. So you could it'll
But as soon as they do it, they're gonna out. They're not gonna stay around.
So yeah. So you could reduce that to a risky standard if you want to. It won't be as good as a distraction, but they'll be safer for your ghosts.
I mean, risk the ghost. Don't you manifest them for free as your thing?
Not if they die. I don't believe.
I don't know.
No, that was one of the things, one of the upgrades allowed you to bring them back. For
Well, yeah,
free,
but
I
she
think.
got them for free to begin with because
Oh, there's a class feature.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's right. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I did. Let's see.
It says I have a magically bonded spirit
Yeah.
in their pack, so do I have that even when they die? Do I get more?
I think you may need to re-recruit them. I might need to
I'll
look
have to
into
go
this more.
down
But
to the senior home and recruit more.
yeah, it would essentially just be a downtime action to get your minions back, right? Which
Okay.
isn't the end of the
Go
world.
to the
but-
IHOP orphanage.
Yeah,
here.
I'll risk them.
and it might even be free. We actually don't know yet, so I have to look at those rules deeper. But okay, so you're gonna let them be desperate, great then?
Sure.
Okay.
And with 2 points in invoke, how many dice is it? I'm
2
very bad at
dice.
remembering how many. A 1 and a 3.
Okay, so they sneak into that room.
Nothing you can do to make
And,
that better.
No, because it wasn't a
They-
if it
they
was two
conjure-
ones, they could.
Exactly. They conjure a little
don't
ghosty
they have
spell.
morale?
Not anymore.
Already
spent
started
it.
it.
Yeah, they spent it earlier.
Was there something else?
I think that's it for minions. Unless you have a defense against minions fucking up.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, your defense might be something else. It depends on what. Your defense should be in your gear-ish area.
You don't have the ghost whip?
Just what-
I don't. Where I filled it in myself?
Yeah.
No, it has nothing to do with my minions.
Okay, so I think that's unfortunately it. So your minions conjure up a little ghosty spell that summon a bit of unusual indoor wind, classic haunting, and the little whoosh sound through the air, and the dragon hears the bong just start to tip, just that ever so slight sound of glass against stone inside, just a little bit. And it just immediately whips around. It's no longer sleepy at all. It just whips around and just tackles the ball. And I think it tackles through your ghosts. And due to the dragon's magical scales, your ghosts are going to be bloodied. They're not dead yet, but they're bloodied. So there should be a mark for that somewhere on their sheet.
Would I have sent all 3 of them for this?
Yes, they will act.
Okay.
They always act as a pack.
Okay.
That little diamond to the.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So mark your bloodied. I don't think the dragon knows they were there yet,
Ghost blood everywhere.
but they are bloodied.
Excellent.
They are, maybe for ghosts, it's not so much real blood as it is like they're starting to fade away, like
Oh.
no longer be, they're starting to pass on. the bindings that keep them here are fading, so.
Dude, I feel
Crank
like
the
I
alpha
just
channel.
tackled ghosts.
Didn't even notice
Or
that.
Do
you're-
they have the sense to come back?
Probably, yeah, that
Okay.
would make sense. You
There
did
goes
command
the
them to
alpha
like
channel.
sneak out afterwards, okay.
I
So,
climbed the rope.
I think, there was a failure. So the dragon puts the bong back and then goes back out and starts messing with the rope again, right? Because the
God damn it.
distraction didn't last very long.
Alright, I want to fire a fire arrow into the dragon's window.
Okay.
Just hope something bad happens.
Hope it hits the ball.
Okay.
Okay, fire arrows are one of my items that I have.
Awesome.
So,
What kind of action is this?
I say smash because I am
Okay.
trying to
Just trying to break
smash.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, so smash. I think this is. I think you could either make this risky standard or sorry, you could either make this risky limited or desperate standard here. So you could either like put yourself out there a little more and really line up a better shot, or you could just take a quick shot and duck out into the woods.
Desperate standard.
All right, let's go for
Use
it.
dark heart.
I don't have a dark heart.
Yeah.
I used all my dark hearts. I don't know what I used them for. 2.
Wow, we are rolling so well. today.
Yeah. Remember,
I mean, I got a 6 last time, so I
Yeah,
cannot
despite the
complain.
attitude of it, retreat is an option. But you
I'm
step
gonna
out
retreat
there.
from the windows.
You step out, seeing that things are going wrong up there. And you just fire a flaming arrow. Mark off the supply for that. And unfortunately, it hits the side of the wall next to the window where that dragon is. And
Yeah.
he just looks over at that. And since he was already outside looking at the rope and he saw the arrow hit, he just immediately snaps over and his eyes like narrow in. You can see, and he bursts out through the wall, breaking the walls around him as he moves through. Because he's much larger than
Yeah.
the window, and starts flying down in your direction.
Retreat! Retreat!
So I think he hasn't screamed about the alarm yet, but that is going to be 3 ticks on the alarm.
Cool.
So I mark a supply both if I just got a generic item from base or if I use one of the specific items marked as supply.
Yeah, so normally you can only pull stuff out of your supply that you have written down as things you might have in supply. But for things like flashbacks, if you flashback to picking something up somewhere, the things you've written down for your supply are essentially things that we...
It's specific and powerful, and I wouldn't be allowed to just pull it out by marking a supply normally.
which ones are?
Things written down as supply.
No,
Like if
those-
somebody else had said I did fire arrows, they wouldn't be able to just mark down.
So yeah,
Lots
so
of
the
supply.
things written down as your supply are things that your character does frequently enough. We don't necessarily need a flashback for you to get them.
Okay.
But they still take up an inventory slot, basically.
Yep.
So you might spend your supply on other things you flashback for, because it's like, okay, I'm going to flashback because I need a dagger in this situation, and that's not on my supply list. That's when it
Okay.
would cost a flashback. But so if anyone wants something powerful, regardless, they usually have to flashback for it. Those are just like
So I don't have to spend stress. To be able to
Correct.
use it. Okay.
Yeah, supply stuff
There
you
you
don't
go.
spend stress for, and you, it's easier to get stuff, but it's usually
Yeah.
weaker-ish. Depends, but yeah. So the alarm is raging here because the dragon just burst through a wall. Maybe that happens frequently here, though. Maybe they don't care that much. But the other dragons, you can tell, are starting to move around quite a bit. They've heard the ruckus outside, and you've currently got a dragon barreling down towards the three of you.
So how far up this building am I?
Almost. You're on the top floor. You would just need to get to the roof, like one more floor up.
I'm going to utilize my ingenuity to craft a concoction on the fly.
Ooh, all right. How does that work?
I spend stress to perform an incredible feat of creation, like mixing a concoction on the fly.
All right. What kind of concoction are you making? I assume this will just be a tinker roll then, for you to essentially perform a downtime action instantly, right? So, so go ahead and spend the stress. And then,
I am going to make dragon hallucinogens.
okay. Powerful hallucinogen. All right.
Couldn't
Yeah.
possibly go wrong.
It couldn't. Yeah.
Might be redundant.
So, this does sound like. Are you making it like in a little bottle, basically? Like you just want to.
And I'm going to throw it in his face.
All right. So, this sounds like Tinker to me, but it does sound like probably at this point deadly great. So, you can roll that. You definitely want to pump this roll up as much as you can.
I throw a dark heart in it.
All right.
I got a 6.
6. All right. So the dragon starts flying down towards all of you, and Kobe just whips out a few vials and starts mixing things together really quickly, looking back up and forth between the dragon and the vials. And then you get the vial in your hand, and you just sure. Maybe the dragon opens its mouth up to either roar or use its breath weapon. You can't tell yet, and you just chuck that shit right down its throat. And it swallows hard, and big comical swallow, and then looks around, and it's just like, oh, where am I? So it's looking at everything right, and it does not even care that you're there anymore.
Incredible.
You could probably sell that stuff to them.
Probably.
The hope is the other dragon's going to see him go and go, oh, dragon LSD.
Yeah,
That explains the hole in the wall.
exactly. It was very good. The 6 helped you a lot there. So, very good, very good.
Yay.
Well said. So you now have a dragon just kind of loopy and walking around outside, not really knowing where he is or what's going on around him. He's currently like staring at a tree and like looking at the bark.
Is he weak-minded now?
Your ghosts
You
are
can always
also
try.
bloody.
I think you'd certainly have a better chance right now.
I don't know
My ghosts want to do this bad.
if
Have your ghosts
your
tell him he can have 3
possession
wishes.
can contend with the LSD. Like, will your ghosts get in there and be high on LSD?
It's
Would be
possible.
interesting.
I do think he's in a weaker minded position than he was earlier.
And while she's doing that, I'm going to look for some place to put my foot and try and pop myself into it.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so you, Yeah, you can go ahead and try and finish climbing up. I guess that would be finesse, right? Unless you have a different idea or you want to use some supply or gear or something.
I don't think I have anything that's going to help me get through the window.
You have a bungee dagger.
To steal his bomb.
You could bungee dagger your dagger up higher and then
Dragon
bungee.
Ball.
I don't know.
I feel like we could make good use out of it.
Whip it in there, hit a bedpost.
Yeah, and then just
Yeah.
morning.
So that's not a bad idea. We'll try that.
Okay, so that
Imagining a comically large but human
Here.
shaped bed.
yeah, I think that might still be finesse, but
Yeah.
it'll be much less risky. I think, surprisingly. So we'll call it risky standard.
Okay.
Yeeting the bungee dagger.
And we'll try this color die for a 2. My favorite roll
A2,
today.
classic. All right, so yeah, you pull out the bungee dagger, you stretch out the bungee, and you just throw the dagger through the windowsill.
Breaking the bong.
Exactly.
It hits it dead on.
And yeah, you throw it through the window, and I think it comes flying back at you because it's a bungee dagger.
But it
So
was
it
such
goes-
a perfect.
It goes up through the window, it bungees back down to the wall beneath you, and then bungees up.
Your butt.
So you get daggered in the butt by your bungee dagger. So you're going to take shock to muscles.
Alrighty.
It was a matter of time.
It was a
Glad
matter
it was
of
the
time,
first
yeah.
It
time.
wasn't much time.
All right. So what was Gladys doing with the?
Okay. If they all three go into the dragon's brain, they're not trying to give it a specific thought. They're just kind of vaguely steering it in the direction of the statue so that he can knock it down.
Is he on the roof or is he
Okay.
on the ground?
He's kind of doing this.
I apologize because I threw the spotlight to you, but then I just had the mental picture of what just happened. So you have somebody invisible hanging from the windowsill, and then we just see a dagger go up and back down and around, and then up, and we just see probably some blood start trickling out. Somebody completely invisible, and then a dagger just goes out and around, and then just a little bit of blood.
Oh no!
This place is haunted. I just heard the ghostly whispers of my ass.
You probably just hear like a grunt or a pain shout.
Somebody here stretching?
Fucking cool.
Okay, but sorry, Gladys, back to you. So you want to have the ghosts possess the dragon.
Everything is ruined.
What is wrong with you?
What hit everything?
I have no idea.
The ghosts.
The ghosts, yeah. They steered the dragon.
God.
Okay.
See, they're not trying to get his LSD-addled brain to do anything specific. They just want to kind of steer him in the direction of the statue
Okay.
so that hopefully he'll hit it and knock it down.
So I think this is, I think since his brain is so addled from these drugs at the moment, I think this is standard great.
That's pretty good.
I think
That's pretty good.
you've weakened him quite a lot. He was already not the strongest brain dragon to begin with.
He was
and,
high, and now he's on LSD.
Exactly, and this is exactly what your
This
ghosts are
just
good
woke
at.
him up.
You have a lot of
And he's
factors
tired,
in your
probably hungry.
in your favor here. So go ahead and roll invoke for your ghosts.
So that is 2 dice?
2 dice.
Okay,
If they have.
I will learn this. 5.
5. Okay. So
This is a good die.
the ghosts take control of this dragon's brain and just try to steer him around. He's looking at this bark on a tree, and then his eyes widen, and he starts looking somewhere else. He just flies off. And Gladys, and probably only Gladys, can see ghosts like in his pupils, like just like messing around with that. And he heads off towards the building, gets to the wall, and then instead of like flying up the wall, the ghosts don't know how to work the wings, so he just starts like scaling the wall. And he scales up directly towards metal at the moment.
Duck.
And so that's the result of the mixed success there.
Lots of
So-
dragon.
Oh no, this is how I'm getting to the roof.
Oh,
I
Possibly.
gotta hitch a ride.
Yeah. Okay, so metal,
He's not gonna
the
notice.
dragon's coming up towards you. How do you want to get on board the dragon?
Well, is he going to go right over me?
Pretty much. He's headed right for you.
keep in mind you have a dagger in your ass.
The dragon's gonna pull you in. You're gonna
As he
bungee
passes
back.
over me, I'm going to grab one of the wings that
Okay.
he's currently not using.
All right. Sounds good. I mean, I think this could either be Skulk or Finesse. I feel like there's good arguments for both, because you could, like, stealthily jump onto the dragon, try not to avoid...
Then
or-
I will use Skull, because Vanessa has been betraying me all
It has, hasn't it?
But you can't rocket jump with a bow, can you?
So I think this is risky standard. The dragon's not actively in control, but you still might get knocked off the building.
Can I just climb the rope?
5.
Is the rope still there?
5.
The
Okay.
rope hasn't.
As far as I know, the rope is still there.
All right. So I think what's going to happen here is you manage to push yourself off the wall and grab on just in time, but you're going to have to make a choice here. You're either going to take more damage, which could be pretty bad because you've already taken some, or lose the bungee dagger because it's going to fall while you try to grab onto the dragon.
Now I'll just lose the bungee dagger.
All right. You can always go back for it later, but for now,
Gonna
you
land
drop.
on Kobe.
The fact that
Unfortunately.
it works out of my ass is not a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you get on the dragon's back, and the dagger just falls down below. The dragon makes its way up to the
Be
roof.
justice if it hits Kobe.
Exactly.
Why, I made that for you.
It's now infused with the power of your ass.
Yes. Carpolomeo, you notice as all of this is going on that the two other dragons that were in the building have wandered around to the side of the building now to see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
They just see one of their companions rapidly climb up a wall and like onto the roof for seemingly no reason. Do you want to intervene with this? Do you want to try and distract them somehow? They're currently looking at their friend like, what the fuck? Or
If
Kobe,
it seems
I
like
guess.
they're going to intervene, I am going to distract them by jumping out with my trusty bear trap snapping open and shut. And screaming, "You haven't seen the last of Carp Town!"
Okay.
Carp Town sends it through.
Exactly, those were the words I was looking for. And I want to threaten them.
Okay.
They don't speak your language.
I forget at that moment.
It just sounds like. Which they recognize instantly.
I like to think that for whatever
That's right.
reason, there's some words that make it through, like the names of places. So it's just, Carp Town.
Carp Town!
Exactly.
Us maybe kill you.
Carp Town, maybe kill.
No, I'm definitely screaming in the dark tongue. I am not thinking about the light tongue at that moment.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, you might have your carp tongue too.
Yes.
Sort of established, but they might not know the carp tongue either.
It's
So.
the dark tongue with a distinct fish accent.
Yeah, exactly. It's. Okay, so this is definitely.
Carp Town!
I think this is desperate great, right? Because
That's
you'll
so
definitely distract them,
threatening.
but there's also significant danger here.
5.
5. Okay. So you're out there like carp town senses are dark, and both of the dragons snap towards you, and they just like hiss and they fly out towards you. So you now got 2 dragons
Yep.
charging towards you, and I think this is I think the clock fills up here. The dragon.
Okay.
All the dragons are now either aware or possessed. So
And one of them's fighting a fire with fire.
there we go. Dragon alarm is
Yeah.
Well, that is how they do. I mean,
So yeah, they are chasing down Carpolomeo right now. So Carpolomeo, you are in imminent danger.
Okay.
Kobe,
run
do you
to
do
the
anything
boat.
about it? Or Kobe, Gladys, anyone in that area, do you want to do anything about it? Or do you want to let Carpolomeo
What
just
can
leave
I
him
do
alone?
about it?
Well, that's what I'm asking you, right? Maybe you can't, and then you just let Carpolomeo try to evade them somehow.
Can we flash back to having prepared a hiding spot nearby for him to jump into in case we got detected?
That is
Eight.
a good idea.
Dug out little hole in the ground covered in brush
Yeah.
that he can slip into to lose them.
I think that does sound like something Carpolomeo would actually flash back for, right?
Yes,
That's,
I will happily do that.
Yeah, that's one of the ranger
I
things.
have a little carp hole.
A carp in its native habitat. A hole.
Yes. Like hobbits, we live in holes in the riverbank, just in a slightly different way.
Carb Town is really just one big hole in the side of the river. Yeah. A lake is really just a big riverside hole. So
Yes.
yeah, it's just that is what it is. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's probably a 2 stress flashback.
Okay.
Is this big enough to fit all of us in case we all need to?
If it's big enough for all of you, I'll make it a 3 stress flashback.
I'll do it.
All right.
Hey,
it's big enough for all
two
of you.
stress left.
So
Can
what
I-
is it?
can
Is
I
it like
take some
under
of
a
the
tree?
stress from him to help, like having help dug it?
So yeah, with flashbacks, you can each flashback to something that your character's calling would do, right? So, Carpolnu as a hunter, setting traps,
Yeah.
scouting at areas, bringing up food, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas as a shaman, your flashback types are like interacting with spirits, animals, brewing up things, sowing terror, right? There's some options in there that are listed for you. But maybe you could flashback to like communing with the local tree spirits or something like that, right? But maybe
Or he
not.
just did list some of the local badgers.
Yeah.
What the fuck is with you and badgers?
Shut up.
They're cool
They
animals.
dig great holes.
They do, actually.
I assume.
They do. They live in badger holes.
Badger holes have saved me before. Badger holes will save me again.
Speaking of Carpolemu, though,
Yes.
I'm going to invoke your impulse here, which is
Excellent.
paranoia.
Why do
and,
you want to die?
Yeah, you are paranoid.
Are you
that
aware of the game we're playing?
you are paranoid that the dragons have already discovered your hiding spot,
Okay.
and you should abandon it because they've planned around the plans that you planned around their plans.
Of course.
Of course.
No, they'll suspect that I did that.
Right.
I'm gonna run for the boat.
Okay.
The
So
badgers are
you
like,
can
"What?"
do that, or you can pay a stress. That's up to you.
I'll pay a stress.
Okay, so you can resist it. You shake off the paranoia, and you run for the hiding spot. I'm gonna say since you spent so much stress in the hiding spot, I'm not
Yep.
gonna make a roll for it at this
Okay.
point. So you rush out and you
That I
jump in the
suspected
hiding
it
spot. What's up?
Nothing.
Okay.
I jump in and told him my carpet is poking out.
Yes, exactly. So the dragons chase Carpolmu out into the woods for just a minute, and he disappears. So the two of you are still in danger because the dragons are nearby, and they
Yeah.
definitely have seen you at this point.
I look out and see the fire approaching.
Oh no.
Yeah. So what do you two do about it now that there are two dragons near you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have a stealthy shawl. It's pretty stealthy. I want to hide under it and scurry into the hole as well.
Okay, so you just want to escape as well.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, as buff as I am and perfectly capable of taking down 2 dragons single-handedly.
Okay, I won't make you roll to jump in the pit since that was all pre-planned, and we spent a lot of stress on it already.
Do you want me to spend any stress to have helped dig the hole?
No, that's fine. Carpolmu already spent 4. Kobe, what are you doing? The statue's still attached, but there is a dragon currently
And
lumbering towards it.
It'll work perfectly.
What if I was wearing a baby dragon costume?
Huh.
Yeah.
I ask myself that every day.
But what do you think would happen if you were wearing a baby dragon costume?
You just spent an entire campaign playing a baby dragon costume.
All of a sudden, there's a baby dragon on their doorstep. We never see Kobe again.
Somebody screams child support.
You could
bell
do
right
that though.
now.
I mean, you could flash back to it, taking some extra stress to try and roll for it if you want to craft a very elaborate baby dragon
Paper
disguise.
mache.
Yes.
All right, so I think this is going to be 2 stress to start, and then go ahead and roll for it. A tinker roll. I think that makes sense for this.
6.
Nice.
Nice.
6. All right. So you have a fairly convincing. You haven't fucked it up in any way, but it is a tier 0 disguise versus their tier 3 dragons, right? So it's probably a little bit janky. You probably don't want to get under too much scrutiny, but it'll at least pass you off as a baby dragon to start with. I think
They
that's
may
what
be
you've
asking
succeeded
questions like, why is that baby dragon sawing the ankles of our statue?
at. Exactly.
Best case scenario, if they find me, they think I'm just a dumb kobold that has nothing to do with the current chaos.
Could be, yeah.
That would be the best case, I suppose.
Like, I'm just trying to fleece you for food. Don't eat me.
Yeah.
Was that your goal in creating
Yeah,
the
so
baby
do you
dragon
want-
Yes.
costume?
Do you want to sneak
It's to be
somewhere?
discovered as a kobold.
Do you want to like sneak somewhere in the costume, or are you trying to be discovered in the costume so that you can play off the next step of this plan?
I'm going to knock on their front door and trick or treat.
Incredible.
Like I'm so not involved with what's happening in this back, like blasted out rear
Yes.
of the castle thing.
What are
I
the
just-
odds that you could possibly be connected to what's
Exactly.
So you want to be discovered as a kobold dressed as a baby dragon.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
Halloween.
That doesn't seem like
They're high
racist
enough.
So you go up to the
Probably
door.
have candy too.
I guess this is a trick roll, right? It sounds like a trick
or treat.
or something else, unless you have a different idea of which one to hear. But that sounds tricky to me.
Yeah, I suppose so. And I'm gonna use Dark Heart.
All right. So this is, I think, risky standard. You've got a lot of setup for this. That helps make it
I got a
little
6
desperate.
already.
6. All right. So you crit. All right. Regular 6. Woo! So you walk up to the front door. You knock on it, and you just kind of knock on it for a few moments because the dragons have all left the building at this point. But they eventually circle back around when they can't find either of these two chucklefucks. So they come back to the building because they both jumped in the hidey holes. The dragons come back around the building. Oh man, who's that? Did it hatch already? Oh, little one. But you can't understand them at all. So they're just speaking to you in the light tongue. Some different words, yeah.
Are these words that are these also light words that we can understand? Or are these just light words that we can like?
Oh, the light words on your sheet?
Yeah.
I assume
So, like,
we understand.
So
them
he
if we
can
hear
hear one.
Little one. Yes. They say little one. Yeah. So one.
Yes. You give gold? Give eat?
Oh, they're looking at each other and they're clearly not killing you yet. You can't understand a lot of what they're saying. But yeah, they open the doors and they like shove you inside. I think one of them actually probably scoops you up and just like holds you and brings you
You have a
in.
new family. Congratulations.
Bye, Kobe.
So meanwhile on the roof, you're on a dragon's back that's currently lumbering towards the front of the building. Kobe is successfully distracting the other two dragons at the moment. I guess the dragon was just told to lumber towards the statue, right?
Well, I wanted
Basically.
him to fly into it, but the goal is to get a dragon body up there, not the
He's
statue
up
down.
there.
Just
Yeah,
make
okay.
him hug it and then kind of lay on it until it.
I just want him to
And
apply
Kobe's
his
not there.
dragonness to it.
Correct.
Okay.
Because
So
I
the-
imagine I don't have precise control over
Yeah.
the dragon.
So you're currently on the dragon's back. It's lumbering towards the statue. What do you want to do about it? Do you want to try and...
Can we flash back to where, in case he didn't make it up there, he gave me some of the acid
Sure.
to bring up with
That makes sense. That sounds like something Metal would do as a conniver. You got contingency plans. So yeah, I think that's
Plan
too
for
stress
plans.
to get that, and we can just say Kobe passed you some of the acid, so you've got that ready.
Good. Well, I'm going to assume that Kobe's coming up the damn rope at some point in time.
Maybe.
I can't control the dragon. I don't know why the dragon's doing what it's doing, so I'm going to.
Recording its ear.
No. I'm going to get off the dragon and attempt to use the acid to
Oh, different.
weed
different
different lines
lesson.
there.
Sounds good.
I thought you meant LSD.
Oh, not that acid. He wants to keep the trip for this dragon going a little longer.
What if double trip?
Yeah, exactly. It can only go well, right?
Yeah, don't pour the statue acid in the dragon's ear.
Yeah.
Or the dragon acid in the statue, because that's just not going to work.
No.
I think this is a situation where I don't necessarily need a roll here. The acid's going to work, and it's not really a risky operation here. So you get
Is
out.
that going to use one of my supplies?
Yes,
Presumably.
actually, I'll use a supply for both of you. So you get out, you flash back, you got the supplies. You jump off the dragon's back and you just pour acid over the ankles of the statue. And right as it begins to weaken, the incoming lumbering dragon topples it off the edge and just starts getting like tangled up in it while it falls, just like "Rah!" as it falls with the statue down towards the ground. So the doors to the outside are starting to close, Kobe, with you and the other two dragons, and then just wham! The dragon statue hits the ground, and there's that other dragon just kind of like passed out.
Does the statue break?
No, it's a big metal statue.
Nice.
So it's probably more of like a clang as it hits the ground and like shatters some of the stone tile and like embeds itself a little bit. But you now have the statue off the building.
So I assume that's
Nobody knows.
fairly close to where I'm hiding, ish, maybe.
Potentially.
I think the main plan was to use a combination of Grease and the Bast brothers to shove
Yeah.
it towards the boat.
Yes.
That, or you do have a weak-minded dragon at the moment.
I think we should go with that.
I could try.
Both.
Yeah, they can work together.
Yeah, you
Teamwork.
see the two dragons, Kobe, are just... They don't seem too alarmed by this, actually. They seem pissed off in their voice, like... and they are going out there and starting to, like, try and reprimand the dragon.
I'm gonna do a couple little wiggles in the motion of set me down for a minute while you go deal with this.
They'll set you down, yeah. Okay.
And then I'm going to loot.
You're gonna loot?
Yes, I'm going to
Okay.
scamper off like a little tyke I am and just grab whatever's shining.
Okay, so
Grab
we'll
the
say
nearest bomb.
Kobe runs around, just grabs whatever he can, just stuffing things in bags, like candlesticks and golden
Yeah.
cups and all
His
sorts of
costume
stuff.
is just lumpy.
Yeah, they're gonna find him later. It's just all odds and ends. It's
Ah.
piano shaped, you know, like the classic.
After that, I'm gonna go up to the hole in the wall and jump out and grab the rope and go down and then head
All
towards
right.
the boat.
Excellent. So Kobe's got loot. That'll help you guys later. How are you getting a statue to the boat?
Well, the Bass brothers presumably jumped into action
They were
as soon as the
presumably...
statue appeared.
Were they...
They're
Were
like-
all our minions given
I
the
assume you-
morale beforehand?
Yes.
Okay, so they would be with us without having to spend money.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that different than morale?
Those are two different. Excuse
gotcha.
me. Those are two different mechanics, but the thing I rolled gives you both.
Okay.
They can get morale from other sources, but yeah.
Alright, so the Bass brothers would be... Yeah, but now there's dragons, you know, probably coming for them.
We just need one more distraction.
Alright, I'm gonna jump out of my hiding place with the bear trap once more. Say, Carp Town will never die!
Carp down.
Carp Town.
have the two dragons exited the building?
Yes, they're out. Well, they're not like completely out of the building. They're sort of like out front, like leaning out the door, like
Can I
bickering
try to
with each
steer
other.
mine into shoving them back in and
Sure.
laying against the door?
Yeah, I think.
Tell him giving them a hug would be a great idea. Both of them.
Okay.
As
Does
forcefully
does
as
mine
possible.
conveniently happen to be twice the size of them.
No, it doesn't.
Bummer.
But sure. So I think if you want to take like greater control of this stuff right now, your magic is all about spirits, right? So you can sort of add some oomph to your ghosts here, right? Like,
Okay.
give them some power. So I think this is going to be an invoke roll for you.
Okay. So that's
And-
3 dice then?
So yes, but let's back up for just a minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because for invoke rolls for you, if you're doing something very powerful, you're actually doing like a higher tier spell.
Okay.
Because as a shaman, right, you took a magic focus, right? Like a certain
Yes.
branch of magic.
It says tier 2 and 1. Tier 2 and 3.
Yeah, but you had to pick like a type of magic, if I remember right. I don't know
What
where
do you got
Yes.
circled there? So.
Storm Strike. Those would be nature, which
Nature.
is not right.
Right, yeah, did you take like the wild heart or whatever? Still-
No. I didn't circle that one.
Okay. So that's fine. So I think this is just going to be a tier 1 spell though, which essentially means you're going to have to roll for every action you want this dragon to take, right? So if you want to shove him through this door, you can do that. It's just going to, you're casting a separate spell every time, and that means something could go wrong.
So first I wanted to lumber over to the door, and then I wanted to just kind of slump himself against the door.
Yeah, I think that could be one action, just
Okay.
like closing the door on these guys.
And just like laying there
Yeah,
in front
so
of me.
give me an invoke roll.
Is it our heart?
That's one more die?
Yeah. If you have a spare dark heart, you can spend that.
That didn't help. 4.
4. Okay, that's a mixed success. So I think the dragon will lumber over towards the door and slam it closed successfully.
Cool.
But as he does so, I'm going to give you another choice here. I think you have to either choose this overburdens your minions and they explode,
Oh no.
or
Would that kill him?
it would kill
In
you.
his head.
It would kill your minions rather.
Uh-huh.
Or you can overburden yourself here and take some shock to your brains.
I'll take shock to my brains.
Okay. So you're the one that takes on the extra taxation, mental taxation of
Yeah.
taking control of this dragon. He slams the door closed. So you now have the door closed. Kobe's looting. What's next?
So now Kobe's trapped inside the building.
No,
Kobe
he's,
jumped out
he's
through the
jumping out
Yeah.
the window and
Yeah.
sliding down the.
Where is the
rope.
big dragon? I'm standing on the roof
He's
now.
still fighting.
He's
the fire
still
with
fighting
fire.
the fire,
Okay.
but he might be coming back soon.
Alright. Guess I'm going to start down the rope.
Okay, that's probably free. The dragons are all inside, so you make it down the rope as well. Carpolomew, you were being a distraction for a moment, right?
If the dragons were outside, if they didn't actually
Yeah.
make it outside, then I would just be helping the Bass brothers.
Okay, so if you and the Bass Brothers want to start moving the statue, then
Yeah.
we can roll for that. So how are you? What's the plan for moving? Are we just gonna push it? Just be really strong?
I think some of us are gonna push, some of us are gonna pull until we get to the
Did we
The
have rope
grease.
set aside for pulling it up the ramp?
On the Bass Brothers, at least.
probably.
As for the ramp, I have all of my minions down there with all of the grease and rope they could ever need.
True.
yeah.
You just gotta get to the boat, and then Kobe team take.
Yes. I am trying to think of what the appropriate role would be for that. There is not really
Strong.
There isn't a strong.
I mean,
There's smash, I guess.
but that is also slash powerfully.
Yeah.
You powerfully.
Smashes for anything like your gross motor skills.
Are you ready to smash, Bass Brothers? Then let us smash.
You could also just throwing more ideas out there. You can do a lot of things with magic as well.
Yeah.
So you might be able to do like kind of a team up action here, right? And maybe you could like summon up a really strong wind or something. 'Cause
Oh, yeah,
you do
okay.
like storm magic, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, the Bass Brothers are superstitious, so that might be a bad thing.
Oh.
Okay, that's fair.
They might not be loving what's going on already.
Can I just give him kind of a subtle tailwind?
Subtle tailwind.
Like, not enough
Maybe.
for them to notice, but enough to help.
Right.
It's
Um,
a metal statue. I think if it helps, they notice.
Yeah, this thing is massively heavy, so just a couple Bass Brothers moving the thing together might not be enough. You still have a weak-minded dragon. Mm-hmm. You might be able
He's
to come up
holding
with
the
some
door
contraptions and things to combine with some strength,
Yeah.
but moving this thing across the dirt is going to be pretty hard.
Yes.
Maybe my donkey could help.
Hey, is your donkey here?
The whole time.
I feel like your donkey's
donkey is-
probably not here.
The donkey, well, if it's in your equipment, it's always at your
Oh,
side.
yep.
It's in my gear.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right.
Listen, if the dragon saw this nonsense happening and went out and just saw a random donkey, they probably wouldn't think the donkey caused it.
True.
All right. Are we gonna hook up your donkey to the dragon statue? Are we gonna hitch them?
Can I invoke the? No.
Do you want to try and push the dragon a little farther and see if you can get the dragon to help?
He's
Is it not
currently
He's
He's
like
holding
holding
the door
them.
shut, though. I don't
He
want to let the
is.
other
So if
two
you could
dragons
figure out
out.
a different solution for that, it would free him up.
I can use ingenuity again.
You know, lock the door real quick.
Just throw an LSD bomb at the door.
Well, no, it does other things. I can also slap together a temporary simple contraption.
Ooh.
Oh, well, there you go.
Like a lock.
Make like a winch.
Or a winch. Yeah. A pulley system to help you pull it onto the barge
Right.
or something.
I'm going to use the rope we already have up there and the statue that's up there as the pulley system and have it yank the statue to at least give it base forward momentum
Okay.
which we can then grease it down to the ship.
All right. So give me a tinker roll for that, and I think you have to spend stress or something, right?
It probably would have been smart to have had a pulley system in place already, knowing that we were going to do this exact thing.
Yeah. So we thought we saw Kobe scamper off into the woods earlier, but now we just see Kobe with loot filling his costume, up on top, finishing tying off the rope, and
Mad
we'll see
scientist
how it
laughing.
goes.
Listen, I could have built a pulley system earlier, but we could barely even get a rope up there earlier.
True.
We had no trouble getting a rope up there. Everything else went wrong
Yeah,
after that.
6.
All right. Let's see if you crit.
6.
Ooh, it's a crit.
Woo!
All right, so with a critical success on this, yeah, you maybe you found something in there as part of the loot that really helps, right?
An entire winch system. Just
yeah,
happened to be
yeah,
sitting
they had exactly. They
How do
had
you think
the-
they get their bongs safely onto
Yeah.
the stone
They
floor?
are pretty big.
They had like a little elevator system inside there or something, and you just like took a bunch of gears and pulleys and things and just hoisted them up top, and yeah, so you get this thing all set up, and maybe there was something else heavy in there, the counterbalance for the elevator that you tie it all to, and it just that falls down. The statue gets lifted up so it's upright and hanging, and then just starts to swing in the correct direction. Everybody else jumps on board to help push it,
Oh yeah,
and.
it's all coming together.
Yeah, so that's all going well. The Bass Brothers are pushing it towards
Yeah.
the shore. It's got a lot of momentum to it now, so now it's just kind of cruising towards the barge. But now you hear the flapping of the wings in the air again. So how are all of you escaping?
Well, I'm going to slide down the rope that's on it.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yep.
You kind of zip line towards the statue.
All right.
I'll crawl out of the hole
Yes.
and get on the boat.
I am going to give the Bass Brothers a plan where we're going to split up and divide the dragon's attention to confuse it, and I'm going to leave them to get eaten by the dragon.
Oh no! Okay, sacrificing the Bass Brothers.
It's
All right, that's a
a
very
difficult sacrifice, but it is one that
that's a
I'm willing
very
to make.
very monster plan. All right.
I think I'm just going to find my bungee dagger and
Yes.
just continue with the cloak of invisibility.
Yeah. Fair
Well,
enough.
if I can, I'll have the ghost help steer the dragon toward the Bass Brothers. Hopefully the others won't.
You can do that. Yeah, I think we need a roll here, maybe a teamwork roll between the Bass Brothers and the ghost or something. Trying
Okay.
to
The
track
Bass Brothers stand heroically making a sacrifice.
Yeah. So what action are we taking here? Is this a trick? Is this a threaten? Is this a?
I'm definitely threatening the Bass Brothers.
Okay.
I'm sure they don't want to be part of the plan to draw away the giant
Right.
dragon's attention.
Did you trick them into thinking there was a hiding hole for them somewhere and there
I
wasn't?
mean, you did it earlier. It's only fair
Right.
that they did it. I mean, look what happened to you.
Yeah.
For Carp Town.
For Carp Town. I mean, they know where the hidey hole is.
Yeah.
If they can survive and make
So-
it in there, then they deserve to.
that is fair. I think
I don't even think I'm trying to trick them. I'm telling them this
Right.
is the way the job goes.
from the Bass Brothers' perspective, though,
Yeah.
how are they getting the dragon's attention? Is this like
Um,
are you tricking
they're-
them? Are you threatening them? Are
They are going to gotcha. They are going
Give them the
to
bear trap.
they are going to invoke. They are very
Ooh.
superstitious, but they are skilled in corpuscular invocation.
all right?
They are going to send a incredibly loud and beautiful carp song from the ground up into the sky that resonates magically, such that all creatures can hear and weep at its beauty and probably
Excellent.
come and try to murder them.
All right, and you wanted your ghost to help out?
Yeah,
so
I
if
just
they're
want
invoking. That's
the
perfect.
ghost to send the dragon that direction so the other ones
Okay, so the
are more likely to
one
follow.
bit of warning there. Your ghosts can help out, and it will be really good because you're both trying to invoke. I would assume, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
pool your dice pool together, but also mean your ghosts will share the fate of the.
They're already bloodied.
Okay, so
Their
that's fine.
fate's kinda
So if
sealed.
you want to
It's just-
sacrifice the ghost as well, that's fine. So go ahead and both of you roll invoke for your
All right.
minions.
And I am very clear ahead of time to the the Bass Brothers, where the hidey hole is. 3.
And a 5. This guy has rolled nothing but 5s.
All right, that's actually kind of perfect. So
I've got metals weighted dice.
I guess.
Okay.
the consequence here is that yes, indeed, the Carp brothers and the ghosts that are not named,
I haven't named them. I didn't know I was supposed
they
to.
don't need a name anymore, I guess.
Right.
But I'm just curious. But the Carp brothers, as a consequence, yes, maybe there was some slim chance of them getting away, but unfortunately, not today. So as you all climb onto the barge, we see the statue being lifted on finally, and then you disembark. We hear the beautiful song of the Carp brothers in the distance, magically amplified by the ghosts, and then it just gets cut off suddenly, and you all float upriver.
We are the best.
Exactly.
Carptown has lost 3 members today.
For Carp Town.
I shed a single
I thought
heartbeat
there were only
tear.
2 Bass brothers.
No, there were 3.
Okay, great.
There were 3.
There were 3.
Then there were 2.
How could you
Have some
forget
chat.
one of the Bass brothers?
No, there aren't any.
All right. So now I want to do a roll for
We'll never forget you, I
Blowback.
said.
Just so we have that done
He said.
because it makes sense.
Because this will be the fun part, trying to move this slow-moving thing all
Yes.
the way back to the island
Yeah.
against flying creatures.
Well, now I can give us a strong tailwind. It'll be perfect.
All right. So here's our options for how well you did at this stealth mission.
Yeah.
Are you
We
were
were
clearly
so
spotted
stealthy.
and identified, or you were spotted but you recovered. So one of you was spotted in a disguise. Another of you was pretending to be from Carp Town, and I don't think either of you got actually spotted.
I
Right?
don't think so.
None of you was invisible. So.
Yeah, one of you's invisible, and I think Gladys stayed
We were
pretty
doing
much
a
in
lot of
shadows.
things from
All the evidence has
Yes.
probably been eaten or dissipated by now.
So I think you're gonna get 2 dice for this, which is not the best, it's not the worst, and we'll just see how much this blows back on your group here. So I rolled a 6. All right,
Is
that
that good
good
for
or
us or
bad?
good for
that is
them?
good. Good for you.
Okay.
Very good.
So, all of you escape, and despite the terrible danger of this den of dragons, you make it out with their prized statue. And so all of you get a dark heart as a reward. So you can go ahead and add that.
And you were worried. Level 3.
Yeah, you guys put together good plans. It worked out.
This is going to give us way too much confidence.
Exactly.
Man, Carp Town gave us way too much confidence.
You lost
We went
some
and raided
business.
dragons.
Yeah.
We've conquered the fish.
Exactly.
Now for the skyfish.
So
Dragons are just the fish of the sky.
Yes.
that is true. Do-do-do-do.
Gyarados sends his regards.
So, something I had been keeping a little bit behind the scenes for all of this
Yeah.
is that was a pillaging raid because you did a setup raid for something and then you went and got a big score, especially against a larger target than yourself. And a pillaging raid means very good things for all of you and very bad things for the dragons.
Oh no.
So they're actually going to drop a tier,
Ooh.
They lost a lot of face.
and you guys are going to rise a tier as you gain
Yes, sir.
power from all of this. You got a lot of loot out of it. You really showed them who's boss. You took down their
Carp-
big Carp Town's the boss, exactly. You took down their big statue that was like their prized possession, all this crazy stuff. The symbol of their place, of their faction. So that's very bad for them. We'll get into all the mechanics of how that works next time, but I think it's a perfect time to also handle XP since we've got a few minutes left. And I think you all acted pretty monsterly today, so we can answer some questions. Let's figure out how much XP y'all get.
We'll see. Right.
Made progress.
We did make progress.
Made progress.
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, we literally went up a tier.
Yep. Absolutely.
Didn't have a dungeon scene. Acted like a monster. I acted like two
like a
monsters.
monster.
I acted like a coward. Does that count?
You possessed
Yes.
people with your ghosts.
That is true.
Yeah,
Does that
I think
count for anything?
that does count.
Okay.
Yeah, acting like a monster can be cowardly but evil actions,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I think that's fair.
I think using my arrow as a grappling hook should count as using gear supply in creative ways.
I like that. Yep, that works for me.
Thank you.
I think metal with your idea to get the acid counts as creative use of your supply.
It counts as creative use of supply if you did it in a flashback.
Yeah, it did count as supply. I'd give it to him at least because yeah, it was creative. It was a good way to solve the situation. So, any other questions?
Does that count towards me getting the dragon high?
Yeah, I think that was creative. Go for it. Mark an XP for that.
Cool.
Cool. And then the other
None of us went bloodied or feral.
true. It was
Just the ghosts.
close a couple times, but yeah, none of you
Yeah.
got quite to that level. If you really push yourselves hard, you can get there and get some extra XP for it. But you played pretty safe, and it went pretty well, all things considered.
That wasn't safe.
Well, it was safer
It
than
wasn't
it could
safe
have
for our
been.
minions.
Yeah,
And we didn't do the frontal assault.
exactly.
None of us
We didn't
died.
throw, Kobe through the window and just right into the dragons.
That's
All-
a shame.
A lot of your decisions were minimizing the,
Yes.
the threat, despite not being safe options. Right?
One
So,
day, Kobe.
I went
one
trick or
day.
treating.
Yeah, you had a disguise. Where
Yeah,
they-
that was pretty incredible.
all of it was very lethal, just because the threat you're up against. But
Yep.
you know, it's not like any of you ran up to smack a dragon or anything. All right,
The
So-
closest we came to that was me riding the dragon.
exactly, and that was badass.
Yep.
To be fair,
Stabbing yourself in the butt with the dagger.
just the
I don't think that counts as creative use.
the kobold yelp of the invisible creature as the dagger disappears is so funny to me. This is the fact that the invisibility cloak would go invisible again, and that's just endlessly funny.
It'd have been funnier if it went.
Either way, I think that's where we'll call it for tonight.
Okay.
We'll start with downtime again next time.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you very much.
We're gonna have so much loot.
Yeah, it's gonna
When
be- it
does
was
that get
pillaging.
counted?
it'll get counted next.
Okay.
So we'll do downtime at the start of next session, and that'll be all of that. So.
Is the stress they accumulated